Welcome and thanks for joining me, everybody. Today we are talking about 7th chord inversions, all the voicings. I want to show you some great ways to practice these that's really practical, that'll get them into your playing, and that'll help you get a grasp of the fretboard and know every single note that you're playing, not just playing shapes. I'm going to show you multiple ways to get these under your fingers fast so that you can start using them in real songs. F major 7, G minor 7, A minor 7, B flat major 7, C7, D minor 7, E minor 7 flat 5. Some people call it E half diminished. So I'm just going to be going over the unique chord qualities, and then you can apply them as necessary in the key. F major 7, root on top. F major 7, third on top. F major 7, fifth on top. And F major 7, seventh on top. We're not so much worried about calling these first inversion, second inversion, third inversion, because as guitar players, most of our time is going to be spent when we're playing in an ensemble in particular, worried about what the melody note is. If I'm playing Stella by Starlight, and I got the melody on top. So I'm thinking about more of these chords of what's happening on top. Now I'm playing solo, so I'm filling in the bass line and so forth. So of course I'm thinking about those too. But if I'm playing with a bass player, I'm not worried about that as much. Root on top, third on top, fifth on top, seventh on top. C7 root on top, C7 third on top. Let's take it down here. C7 fifth on top, C7 seventh on top. Now, for the sake of this video, I'm just playing these one time, but I would recommend going all the way up the neck. Root on top, third on top, fifth on top, seventh on top. These are going to sound the same, but they're just going to be played in a different place in the neck, and we need that. We need to be able to play the same material in different places. We've got our root on top, third on top. This voicing may be most familiar to players who are playing a basic major 7th voicing. Then we have fifth on top, and then finally a little reach here, seventh on top. Root on top, third on top. Many of us are probably familiar with that one already. Fifth on top, seventh on top. And I'm going to do this one here because it's in the lowest position. Third on top, fifth on top, seventh on top, root on top. E minor 7 flat 5, root on top. E minor 7 flat 5, third on top. E minor 7 flat 5, fifth on top. E minor 7 flat 5, seventh on top. 6, 5, 4, 3. That's F major 7, root on top. F major 7, third on top. F major 7, fifth on top. F major 7, seventh on top. The minor 7th, G minor. Seventh on top. Root on top. Seventh on top. Root on top. Third on top, fifth on top. All right, now we have the E minor 7 flat 5, fifth on top, root on top. So that's all the basic voicings. You got the major 7th. In F major, you're going to have F major 7, B flat major 7. You have the minor 7th. You're going to have 3 of those. The G minor, A minor, D minor 7. You have one C7 chord, one dominant 7th chord, and you're going to have one minor 7 flat 5 chord. That is the E minor 7 flat 5. I can play each inversion. There's F. I'm playing all my Fs, 5th on top, 7th on top. Again, go till you run out of real estate and then come backwards with the metronome, 3rd on top, root on top. Then I move up to G minor. I'm doing the 3rd on top, 5th on top, 7th on top, 5th on top, 3rd on top, root, A minor. Once you feel more comfortable with it, go to the lowest voicing on the neck. Well, you know what? I've got A minor right there with the 7th on top. Then we got B flat, again 7th on top, root on top, 3rd on top, 5th on top, 5th on top here, 7, root, 3rd, 5th on top, 7, root, 3rd, 5th, 7th, root. Okay, so you'd want to do that with all the string sets, everything we covered. Stay in the key, but just use one particular type of voicing. For instance, I'm going to do just roots on top. F major, and I'm going to go in alphabetical order. G minor 7, A minor 7, B flat major 7, C7, D minor, E minor 7 flat 5, F. Right, and just go right on back down the scale. So you're playing the chord scale. Now I'm going to do the thirds on top. So I'm going F, G minor, A minor, B flat major, C7, D minor, E minor 7 flat 5, we can go down there too. And then of course you're coming back down the scale. Then we can do fifths on top. F major, G minor, A minor, B flat major 7, C7, D minor, E minor 7 flat 5, F major 7. And then the 7th on top. F major, G minor, I can go down here if I want, A minor, B flat major, C7, D minor, E minor 7 flat 5, F major 7. Again, do that on all string sets. So these end up being in 2 cycles. Check this out. F major, root on top. Next chord, B flat major. Well, we go to the closest one so that we're voice leading it. B flat major 7, 5th on top. Okay, how do we know that we're voice leading in the closest one? Because they're actually going to share some notes. So this A and this F will also be part of the B flat chord, and that's the way the pattern is going to work all the way down. After B flat, E minor 7 flat 5, notice, root is on top. What's next? A minor, 5th on top. So we're in a cycle that's going root on top, 5th on top, root on top, 5th on top. All right, D minor, G minor, C7, and back to an F major 7. But now the 5th is on top of this one. So now let's go to our B flat, roots on top of that one. Then E minor 7 flat 5, 5th is on top of that, A minor, root is on top, D minor, 5th is on top, G minor, root is on top, C7, 5th is on top, and look at that. F with the root on top. We're just down an octave, but that's where we started. In F major 7 with the root on top. So we're in that cycle. How we get out of it? Well, we have to go to the other cycle. F major 7 with the 3rd on top. What's the closest B flat? B flat major 7 with the 7th on top. So these are going to go 3rd on top, 7th on top. So here's E minor 7 flat 5, 3rd on top, A minor 7, 7th on top, going up here for the D minor, 3rd on top, G minor 7, 7th on top, C7, 3rd on top, F major 7, 7 on top. B flat, third on top, E minor 7, flat 5, 7th on top, A minor, D minor, G minor, C7, back to where we started. Another way to practice these is just to do all the chord qualities through all the keys. So taking one chord quality at a time, I say, okay, I'm going to do all the, again, I can run all the inversions of an F major 7, up a fourth from F major 7, B flat major 7. And I can start with the root on top, or I can go to the lowest one, however I want to kind of negotiate that. Round the circle fourth, what comes next? E flat. Let's go to the lowest one. Happens to be the third on top, 5th, 7th on top, root on top. What comes after that? A flat, 7th on top, root on top, 3rd on top, 5th on top. Here's the 5th on top of that one, 7th, root, 3rd, G flat, root, 7th on top, root, E, A, and we're back where we started, F. But we haven't talked about the voicings that have a string skipped. The 5th is on top of this chord. Some people call these voicings drop twos or whatever, but I am more inclined to think about it as being this voicing, but this 5th is now moved up an octave and we have this. So for this exercise, I want to take this major 7th voicing, change it into a dominant 7th, then a minor 7th, then a minor 7 flat 5, and then a fully diminished chord. We've got the root, the 7th, the 3rd, and the 5th. What has to change for a dominant chord? Well, the 7th has to come down half step. Okay, so from E to E flat. What has to change for a dominant 7th to become a minor 7? Well, the major 3rd has to become a minor 3rd. Then we have this. What has to happen for the minor 7 flat 5? Well, we've got a flat to 5. There's the 5. So to go from the minor 7 flat 5 to the fully diminished, we have to take the 7th chord and drop it a half step. We've got the 3rd in the bottom here. We've got the root, 5th, 7th on top. Again, move that 7th down. Now sometimes you're going to have to move your change your fingering a bit. Dominant 7. Now we got to bring this, that 3rd down. Minor 7. We got to bring the 5th, and then finally the 3rd. F major 7 with the root on top, 7th, 3rd, 5th on the bottom. Dominant 7 chord, move the 3rd down. Minor 7th chord, move the 5th down. Minor 7 flat 5. The 7th down, fully diminished chord. Major 7th on the bottom, 5th, root, 3rd. Moving our 3rd down, minor 7. Moving the 5th down, minor 7 flat 5. Moving the 7th down, fully diminished chord. A lot of us are probably familiar with this major 7th chord. Let's make it dominant. Let's make it minor 7. Let's make it minor 7 flat 5. Let's make it fully diminished. 3rd, root, 5, 7. Dominant chord. Minor 7. Minor 7 flat 5. Fully diminished. You got 5, 3, 7, 1. Dominant chord. F minor 7, F minor 7 flat 5, fully diminished. 7th, 5, root 3rd, dominant, minor 7 flat 5, and fully diminished. As always, my recommendation would be all keys, go around the circle of fourths. Some people like to practice through the circle of minor thirds or circle of major thirds, or go around fifths. It's up to you. Just be thorough, get them all in, and these voicings will get under your fingers quickly. Take note of the inner voicings. It's easy to kind of go, okay, I know what the melody note is, I know what's in the bass, but make sure you know what's happening on the inside voices, and how as you move from one inversion to the next, what's happening in there and how those voices are moving. Also, it's really important when you are practicing that circle of fourths exercise to see how that voice leading works. You're going to sound like a much more advanced, much more sophisticated player if you can really do those things rather than just kind of jumping around different voicings that you know in root position. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you'll have a good time practicing these, working these into your playing, into your standards, into your original pieces, whatever you're working on. I use these kind of voicings all the time. I expand on them. I use them as parts. I use them in soloing. You can hear some of me doing this on my latest instrumental album. It's called In Defense of Daydreaming. It's a very guitar forward, very eclectic collection of tunes, all original compositions. I hope you'll check that out, and we will see you next video.